Hello, everybody. This is Mrs. Wise coming to you from Utah. Hopefully, I'll be back this middle of this week. Thank you so much for your patience. We're going to begin applying some of our trigonometry functions and ratios, starting with learning what angles of elevation and depression are. Okay, so first of all, angle of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation is an angle formed by a horizontal line and the line of sight to an object above the horizontal line. So think of if I'm this person here standing on the ground, right? And I'm looking straight forward with my eyes. Okay, so I'm looking straight forward. That's my horizontal line. And anything that makes my eyes look up is an angle of elevation. So elevation is like going up, right? You're rising something up. An angle of depression, on the other hand, is if I'm, this person up here on the top, and at my line of sight, my eyes are looking straight forward, level, horizontally, and I have to cause my eyes to look down towards something. That's an angle of depression. Okay, so we're down, right? That's going down. So it's an angle formed by the horizontal line and the line of sight of an object below. So identify angle 2 as angle of elevation or depression. So angle 2 right here, get a different color. So angle 2, if this is my horizontal line, the dashed line, and I have to go up from there, my angle 2 would be an angle of elevation, right? So angle 2 would be an angle of elevation. Okay, gosh, sorry about my writing here. Angle of elevation. Okay, and then let's look at number 3. So number 3, I'll get a different color here. Angle 3, if I'm going from this dashed horizontal line sight right here, I'd have to look down. And so this would be angle 3 would be my angle of depression. Angle of depression, okay? And so that's how you tell what angle of depression or angle of elevation is. Okay, so this kind of gives a little summary of what each of these are. Angle of inclination is something else. If I were to lean a ladder up against the wall, this would be my angle of inclination. So it kind of leans up against the wall somewhere. Elevation has something to do with horizontal lines. Elevation or inclination has to do with vertical lines. Okay, angle of inclination is with the vertical line. So remember, the elevation and depression are always with horizontal lines. So here's my angle of elevation. I'm looking horizontal, looking up to my kite. That's elevation. If I'm here at a lighthouse looking down to my boat, down here, that's an angle of depression. Okay? So how does the angle of depression, angle 1, compare with the angle of elevation, angle 2? Okay? Right here, so how does this angle here compare with this angle here? Well, it looks like they should be equal, right? Because they're alternate interior angles, because the line of sights are parallel. Okay? So let's solve a few of these guys. So for reverse bungee ride, Regan stands halfway between these two towers, and the bungee cords extend to the top of the two posts. To Regan's waist down here is 1 meter high. Okay, how tall are these vertical posts? So if I were to draw a triangle representing this just on one side, so Regan is standing over here, this is going to be 8 meters long right here because it's from her waist to over here, which is half this distance, so 4 meters, right? So that'd be 4. We want to find the height here. This angle right here is 70 degrees. So if I'm going to look at this triangle right here, we're talking about a tangent. So we want to know what the tangent of 70 degrees is my opposite over my adjacent side. So that's my tangent ratio, okay? So now we just multiply by 8 on both sides. So I'd have 8 tangent of 70 equals my x. So then I'm going to go ahead and pull my calculator up here. And I'm going to go, what is my 8 tangent of 70 degrees? And that gives me about 21.9. So I'm going to call it about 22 feet. So I'm going to say my x is about 22 feet. Okay? So they're about 22 feet tall. Okay? So my next one here, Nadine sees the tour bus from the top of a tower. So she's standing up here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. She's down here from the top of it. Actually, she's not standing on top. I shouldn't draw that because her eyes are actually right here. So she's here somewhere. To the nearest foot, how far is the bus from the base of the tower? So we want to know this distance right here. Okay. So important to know what's being asked, what's given to you. We do not want to use this angle right here because this is not part of my right triangle. That's very important to make sure you understand when you're, setting these problems up. This is my right triangle. I need to know an angle in that right triangle. So I can do a couple of things. I know this is 90 degrees, okay? I know these two angles, 23 and this angle, is alternate interior angle. So I know this is also 23 degrees. I could also use this angle as a complementary angle, so I could take 90 minus 23 and use this angle, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and use this 23. So be sure when you set those up, you have your proper angles, okay? Because a lot of people want to take this angle right here and make that 23. So I have a tangent, and I have opposite from 23, okay, and my x. So I'm going to use my tangent of 23 equals my 180 over x. So what I have a lot of people do is say my tangent of 23 equals x over 180, okay? So be careful when you're setting those up. So now I have, if I multiply x on both sides, I'll have x times the tangent of 23 equals 180. And then I want to go ahead and divide by this tangent of 23. So my x is going to be approximately equal to, let's pull this guy back up. So we're going to take our 180 and divide by, whoops, I want to divide by, and put in parentheses, tangent of 23 degrees, and make sure you close your parentheses, both parentheses, right? So I have a parenthesis for the tangent to tell them I'm dividing by this whole thing. 23 degrees is in a parenthesis, and then my other parenthesis to close my denominator. So that's 424.05, so I'm just going to call it 424.1. So 424.1 is approximately my distance the bus is from the tower. Okay. All right. So that's it. So just basically identifying angles of elevation and depression, putting them into use in solving problems. You have an Excel. Actually, you don't have an Excel. You have a worksheet. I changed my mind last minute. You have a worksheet in Google Classroom and show all your work. There's not a lot of work to show for the first half of the assignment, and then there's a little bit of work on the last few. And then I will see you all hopefully the middle of this week. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.